Welcome to what I'm calling Shelf Life. My name's Erica. I decided to do some little sort of book review videos about the random, weird, creepy, funny, obscure, sometimes antique books that I've sort of collected over the years that are kicking around on my shelf. Inspired partially by a few of my friends who also do their own book reviews, horror and things like that as well too. And I just kind of wanted to share some stuff that I had that I think people might enjoy or that other people might not have heard of. So let's dive into it. And the first one that I've chosen off my shelf for you guys today is the Eerie Book. So this was published in 1981. It's a collection of short stories, folk tales, fairy tales, things like that. While there are some more popular tales in here, like annotated Frankenstein, sort of a short form version of Frankenstein. There's a couple of Poe stories, of course, because you can't have a creepy anthology without a couple of Edgar Allan Poe stories in there. And while I love him more than H.P. Lovecraft, we're not going to be talking about him. We're going to be talking about some of the other stuff that's in here. So here's the frontispiece for this book. And one thing I really like about this book is that even though it was only published in 1981, it looks a lot older. It looks like something that might have been published around, the turn of the century, early 1900s, that kind of thing. The illustrations by W.B. McDougall are really gorgeous, and they sort of vary from, gory to Aubrey Beardsley to sort of really minimalist sketch style. And there's one for each story in here. So, table of contents here. So there's quite a lot. Some of them are only like, 2-3 pages long. The one at the end called Mask, not to be confused with The Mask of the Red Death, is almost like a little novella with a really pretty good twist ending, actually. So I'm just going to show you a couple of the illustrations for the stories. This is like just absolutely gorgeous stuff. So each story gets their own little illustrations through here. So it's really nice, like how he's sort of doing a whole bunch of different styles for the stories. A lot of them are taken from, like local folk tales. There's some Danish stuff, some German stuff in here. There's a bunch pulled by something called Ghosts and Family Legends that's put together by someone called Catherine Crowe, which I've never heard of. Don't know the date, anything like that. I suspect it's older, just from the style of the writing in some of these. So I'm going to have to hunt that down now myself because they're quite good, and I want to see what else is in this anthology. And if I find it, I will share that with you guys. So I'm going to just read a little excerpt from one of the super short stories. And this is, it just says from the Danish, so folk tale kind of thing, and it's called A Dream of Death. And this is only something that's like 2 pages long. So here we go. This will sort of give you an idea of the kind of style of things that are in this book. So everything seemed to loom so large round her, and the ceiling seemed so high up, and the light was pale gray, like that of distant and misty moons. And there, along the wall, stood rows of beds with white sheets and blankets tucked in tightly, and beneath the blankets lay human beings, stiffly stretched out and groaning. And now and then they raised their heads and prayed with heart-rending voices that their tight coverings might be loosened, but no one answered. By the side of the high, narrow door opposite stood a figure with bound hands and a long, white, shining robe, fastened to the wall by a thick, dark rope which was twisted around the waist. The eyes were wide open and had no pupils, but the whites were large and protruding, and out of the mouth hung a long tongue, black as pitch. Elsa wanted to rise, but she could not move a limb. Stiff with fear, she stared at the door. In a few bounds, she would be able to reach it. But supposing it was locked now and the key were gone? Yes, it was locked, and there was no key. She saw that distinctly. Then she felt herself become like a paralyzed mass, and she began to glide down from the chair. But just at that moment, the door opened noiselessly, and 4 men entered quietly, carrying with them a long white coffin, curved into a semicircle at the top. The opening of the upper half was covered in front with a pane of glass, and through this Elsa saw a human head lying sideways with an emaciated, lifeless face. the color of which seems black as lead against the white pillow. Pretty ass creepy dream of death. I like it. So that one is actually like quite macabre. There's some stuff in here too that has like a little bit of humor, lots of twist endings. Some of them sort of more like morality tales, but a lot like Grimm's fairy tales, not a lot of them end very happily. So if you're looking for some feel-good fairy tale like Disney shit, this is not it. But give this a try if you can find it. Highly recommended. You're probably going to want to look up some of the other excerpts from books or other compilations that this is taken from, aside from the Catherine Crow-Groston Family Legends. There is also Apparitions, A Narrative of Facts by the Reverend Boucher Ray Seville. Traditions of Edinburgh by Robert Chambers. There's a few of those ones in there as well too. And then there's also excerpts from longer works. Like there is an extract from Undine by Baron de la Motte. And also The Mask at the end, the little novella, is an extract from De Quincey's Romance of Klosterheim. So these are also longer works as well too. So you can try seeking them out as well. So anyways, that was my first little entry in here for you today. I'm going to make a couple of more videos. We're going to be getting into some murder. We're going to be getting into some sexy time. And I hope you watch a couple more with me. If you have any questions, like throw them in the comments below. If you have any nasty stuff to say, don't throw that into the comments below. If you've read any of the books that I pull up and you want to share, you know, your thoughts on them, throw that in there as well too. And if you see anything in the books behind me, which are going to be changing right now, we've got a lot of science fiction going on, let me know. And we'll see what we can do. The Eerie Book. Thanks, guys.